Welcome, UCL fans, to our Season 2, Week 6 review and ranking for the United Championship League. I'm your host, Fanatic64, and I've watched all the matches, crunched the numbers, and found out what I believe is a fair and accurate ranking system for the UCL. Now, of course, I am not affiliated with the UCL, but if with your help, hopefully maybe one day we can be. Tweet at the UCL to let them know we want to see this become more of an official thing. I have their Twitter, of course, linked down in the description below, as well as my own Twitter. And again, if you do enjoy this video, please leave it a thumbs up and let me know down below what match you enjoyed most this last weekend. So we're going to first, before we get to the rankings, start with our review. Starting off, our first match we had was the Durham Druddigons versus the Pittsburgh Peaches. Of course, both teams were tied at 4-1 for their records. And it was a 1-0 victory for the Durham Druddigons. MVP of the match I gave to the Druddigon from the Durham Druddigons, who managed to get 2 knockouts this week. Moving on to our second match, we have the Bristol City Blazekins, who were 2-3, taking on the Philadelphia Alligators, who were 1-4. And it was a 3-0 victory for the Bristol City Blazekins. MVP of the match goes to Talonflame from the Bristol City Blazekins, who managed to get 3 knockouts this week. Moving on to our third match, we had the St. Louis Rampardos and the Newcastle Nido Kings going at it. Both teams, of course, had a 2-3 record. And it was a 1-0 victory for the St. Louis Rampardos. MVP of the match went to Mega Venusaur from the St. Louis Rampardos, who managed to get 3 knockouts this week. Moving on to our fourth match, we had the Real Maril, who were 4-1, taking on the Long Island Reggie Rockies, who were 1-4. And it was a 2-0 victory for the Real Maril. MVP of the match went to the Tornadus Therian form from the Real Maril, who managed to get 2 knockouts this week. Moving on to our fifth match, we had the Toronto Tokakiss, who were 2-3, taking on the Bronx Bearticks, who were 4-1. And it was a 3-0 victory for the Bronx Bearticks. MVP of the match goes to Manaphy from the Bronx Bearticks, who managed to get 3 knockouts this week. Moving on to our sixth match, we had the Grand Canyon Greninjas, who were 1-4, taking on the Tucson Terrakions, who were 4-1. And it was a 2-0 victory for the Tucson Terrakions. MVP of the match goes to Dragonite from the Tucson Terrakions, who managed to get 3 knockouts this week. Moving on to our seventh match, it was supposed to be the Tulsa Talonflames taking on the South Beach Slow Kings. Both teams were 4-1, or 1-4 rather, going into this. Now, this match did not take place as the coach of the Tulsa Talonflames, Kristen, aka Cuddle of Death, was out visiting Nappy actually, and so did not have a team prepared or any way of recording it, so therefore they forfeited the match to the South Beach Slow Kings. So South Beach Slow Kings get the win this week, but just so that way the South Beach Slow Kings had something to upload, they had a kind of a rematch that would have no effect on the rankings or differentials, in my opinion, for it, where they actually took on the Manchester Magnazones in a rematch, because, of course, last time the Manchester Magnazones won due to internet disconnectivity and the South Beach Slow Kings just having to forfeit the match. And that match was actually won by the South Beach Slow Kings, and I believe it was a 5-0 win as well. I can't remember because I watched it late last night and I didn't write anything down for it because, of course, the score did not matter for it. But the MVP for the South Beach Slow Kings, certainly that would have been their Celebi from that rematch. So, we're moving on to the hype match of the week. The hype match of the week, of course, is the Carolina Keldios taking on the Manchester Magnazones. I called this one being the hype match just because, of course, both teams have been doing really well this season compared to their Season 1 matchups that they had. And this was definitely a really big match. It literally came down to the timer decision on it. And it was a 2-1 victory for the Carolina Keldios. If there was more time in it, I believe that the Carolina Keldios still would have ended up winning, but it came down to the timer in the end for it. MVP of the match was Suicune from the Carolina Keldios, who managed to get 4 knockouts this week. So that's going to go ahead and do it for our review. So let's go ahead and get into the rankings. Now, normally, like I said, I usually try to have the thing posted in the corner for what the rankings are. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have that access available to me at the moment because, like I said, usually I have this all on the same computer, but I have all that typed up on another computer, and I can't put my flash drive into this computer right now. I'm still trying to figure out the details for that, but I have all the rankings written here. You can take a look. If you wanted me to do this, but I don't. I think it'd be awkward because I need this to actually read off of as well. So I'm just gonna set this in front of me so I can try not to look down too much. So in 16th place we have the Philadelphia for Alligators, record of 1-5, differential score of -14. In 15th place we have the Grand Canyon Greninjas, also with a 1-5 record, and their differential score is -11. In 14th place, we have the Long Island Reggie Rockies, whose record is 1-5, and their differential score is -9. In 13th place, we have the Tulsa Talonflames, whose record is now 1-5 and a differential score of -7. In 12th place, we have the South Beach Slow Kings, who have a 2-4 record now and a -10 differential score. In 11th place, we have the Newcastle Nido Kings, who are 2-4 with a differential score of -8. In 10th place, we have the Toronto Togekiss, who are have a record of 2-4, and their differential score is -4. In ninth place, we have the St. Louis Rampardos, who have a record of 3-3 and a differential score of -6. In eighth place, we have the Bristol City Blazekins, who have a 3-3 record and have a differential score of 0. In seventh place, we have the Manchester Magnazones, who have a 3-3 record and a differential score of 2. Moving on into sixth, where we are starting to see the more positive teams here, we have the Pittsburgh Pichus, who are 4-2 and have a differential score of 9. And then the rest of the teams from fifth to first place have all a record of 5-1. So the only thing that separates them right now, in my book at least, is their differential score. So in fifth place, we have the Tucson Terrakions, whose differential score is 4. In fourth place, we have the Carolina Keldios now, who are 5-1 with the differential score of 6. In third place, we have the Durham Druddigons, whose differential score is 9. And then in a tie for first place, at least in my book for it, are the Bronx Bear Ticks and the Real Morel. Both teams have that 5-1 record and have a differential score of 14. Now, based on how the UCL works, of course, they don't go by differentials. They instead go by the actual records and who defeated who during that time of the season. So, if this were ranked more by the UCL, it would still kind of be almost a three-way tie between the Real Morel, the Bronx Bear Ticks, and the Durham Druddigons, as the Durham Druddigons defeated the Real Morel defeated the Bronx Bear Ticks, and I don't remember, did the Bronx Bear Ticks I can't remember. I have to look it up real quick. Actually, you know what? I'm going to actually pull up, and we can all look together at what the Season 2 schedule is, because I got this here, so I just have it in front of me. So, the Durham Druddigons will not face the Bronx Bear Ticks until week 9 on it. So, we still have yet to see what will end up happening, but I would think that they would probably have the Durham Druddigons at first, just due to the fact that Durham beat the Real Morel, who also beat the Bronx Bear Ticks on it. But we'll have yet to see. Of course, there's still plenty of time left in the season. I'll have my preview for Week 7 coming up on Friday, so don't forget to check that out. Subscribe so you don't miss it, or follow me on Twitter, because of course I do have the tweets go out every time that I do that as well. And then after either after Week 7 or 8, I haven't figured out which, I will be doing a full team. Sorry, my roommates are being crazy right now, if you actually heard that. But, jeez, they're being loud. But we'll go ahead and I'll do like a full team recap for each team, similar to what I did last season. I think I did it after week 8, just in case there were any last minute trades. So I might wait till then for it. I haven't figured it out yet. But thank you all very much for watching. You have yourselves a good day. Take care and goodbye.